what inspired you to form your organizations? And does your organization work on any other life issues besides abortion?
So, yeah, I think my organization, we work to challenge both the pro-life movement and the feminist movement because we see inconsistencies on both sides. And there's a lot of great people in the pro-life movement who are out there, boots on the ground, serving women, loving women well. There's a lot of groups that are just talking about the political side of things. And for us, that's kind of an issue because when we focus so many resources on cutting off supply without addressing demand, that's a problem because, just saying, okay, abortion's illegal and you can't have them anymore, does anyone in this room believe that they would stop? I mean, I think most of us know better. And so we have to look at the demand. What is it that's driving women to this place in the first place, to the fact that so many of them feel like it's a necessary evil in their lives? And if we can address those needs, and so many of them, as Cecily said, are these systemic issues. It's the fact that, maybe she doesn't have health care, or she's going to be kicked out of her home, or, the guy took off. Like, there's so many different things where a woman feels totally alone. We actually just started a chapter down in Argentina where abortion is still illegal. And they had a big referendum come up and, everybody, both sides were out there warring, and they decided to keep it illegal there. And a part of me was afraid that our club would kind of go away down there because, it's not really in the news and what can they do? And the coolest thing happened. We watched this group go into the slums of Argentina and find women because they knew that whether the supply was there or not, the demand was there. It's still an issue. There's still women who are going and trying to access unsafe abortions because they are so desperate. The desperation of a mother who has 4 children and can barely keep them alive. And so the answer is not that any of these children have to die. It's let us help you find food for these children and for the child growing in your womb. And I got a call from them this week because there was a young Haitian woman who was over there, found out she was pregnant, the boyfriend took off, her dad kicked her out of the house, she was completely on her own, and they said, so we just started walking with her and trying to figure out what she needed, and all of a sudden she went into labor, and they were the only ones at the hospital with her when she went into labor. This woman would have been completely alone. Sometimes it's just that simple, being there for a woman, whether she's abortion vulnerable or not. This is somebody who still needs our love and compassion and help. And that's why we say that we are, we follow the consistent life ethic. So this is a matter of whole life and the whole scope of someone's life. And wherever they're at, wherever that need is, we have gone down to the border to try to support families who are getting out of detainment down there. And you guys, this is the closest I've come to burnout, being an activist, when we got back from that weekend down at the border and the stuff that we saw, because we all see these images of, children in cages and the foil blankets and stuff. The detainment centers that they're going to after that are even worse. So these charities that they're at, where, they are doing everything in their power to help these communities, but they're sleeping on these thin mats, 2 to 3 people, a mat, and children on top of them, and piled into just like storage rooms almost. And so we said, we want to do something. We want to do something tangible at the border. And we raised funds for diapers and underwear and shoelaces because they're treated like criminals. Their shoelaces are taken away as soon as they go into detainment. So you're watching people just shuffle in. And many of them have lost so much weight they don't have clothing. And so we had taken a lot of children's underwear, and one of the volunteers came and got it, and they said, we're actually going to take these to the men because the men are so small from, not having access to food. And everything about it was incredibly heartbreaking. We took breastfeeding supplies and formula and just stuff to love on these mothers with. And so it's kind of funny because we hear this narrative and you see the memes, which memes are facts, right? We all know that. So you see the memes where it's like, oh, where are the pro-lifers now? Like, I don't know if you guys just aren't down at the border, but we're there. We're there. The Catholic charities that are running these institutions and these refuge centers and getting health care and all these other things, like, that is absolutely where they're at. You just have to look for them. And so we found that the more we are consistent, and we don't just keep our activism to, resource centers for pregnant women, but we actually go this broad spectrum of loving people well. Like, there's so much need out there, and there's so many different ways that we can help as a pro-life community. So just like we challenge the feminist side to be more consistent when it comes to nonviolence and caring for women, we're also challenging the pro-life side to be truly pro-whole life and not just focused on pregnancy.